You are watching a live valedictory press conference by the Minister of Communications, Dr. Adebayo Shitu, on African largest television network, the NTA, coming to you from the Nigerian Air Force Center in Kado, Abuja. The farewell press conference is expected to be an interactive section where members of the media will be able to x-ray the achievement of the minister under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration as the minister reeled out his achievements since assumption of office in 2015.
I will just take a few minutes to ask you to ladies and gentlemen, we have this local. Please take it out. Thank you, sir. And we also have Nigerian. Please take it out. Thank you. We have Dr. Mrs. Lorraine Chapman. And is the number of communications, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Umar Dambata just walked in. Please applaud him. Yes, I acknowledge the presence of Professor Umar Dambata. Thank you. Just coming in also is the Postmaster General. Please put your hands together for BC Category. Let's go on with the program because the day is far spent. I will make one introduction with the leader rises. Permit me now to go on to the first item of the program. We will take a short welcome address by the Government Secretary, Federal Minister of Communications. Mr. Hans, put your hands together for me.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, good afternoon. Please permit me on behalf of the ministry to apologize for our inability to start the program at 1 o'clock. It is not our character to do that. In the Ministry of ICT, the computer works, the time keeps ticking, whether you are doing your job or not. As you can see, the minister is just coming directly from the Federal Executive Council meeting, which was shifted after we had given the time to be 1 o'clock today to Monday from Friday. And in our protocol in Nigeria, the Federal Executive Council functions take precedence over any other function. So please bear with us. It is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you all to this valedictory press briefing by the Honorable Minister of Communications, Dr. Barrister Adebayo Shitu. As you are all aware, the Ministry, in collaboration with its agencies, is organizing the event to highlight the unprecedented achievements in the telecommunications and information communication technology industry under the able leadership of the Honorable the achievements in the sector and its implications for economic diversification, economic recovery and growth plan, and change agenda of the present administration. This will serve as a foundation for a new perspective and fresh impetus geared towards the next level agenda. I welcome our numerous distinguished guests for making time, in spite of the tight schedules, to attend this event. Indeed, thank you very much.
His briefing, because time is well spent, let's have the minister present. Again, I must apologize most sincerely that our original time of 1 p.m. had to be shifted to 3 p.m. Even right now, as I'm speaking, the FEC is still on. I had to beg the permission of the Vice President who is presiding to allow me to come and attend this meeting. I thank him for graciously allowing me to be here with you. Let me just have a thank you Almighty Allah. He is the most powerful. For me to be appointed, to have been appointed Minister of Communications 3.5 years ago. When I came on board, of course, I didn't know anything. I want to thank all heads of all management staff and heads of agencies for their support and for assisting me to learn a few things about ICT. My address is rather long. I have therefore decided that the text of my address would be circulated to each and every one through your online addresses by the grace of God. So, having said that, I want to believe that this document in particular has been distributed to all of us here. If you have anybody who has not gotten a copy, let us know by raising your hand, please. Yeah, a few people have not gotten, they will distribute them now.
Apart from the text of my address, would really explain what we have been able to do. As I used to tell people, we have 5.5 agencies in the ministry. We have the NCC, we have NITSDA, we have Galaxy Backbone,
we have NIPOS, we have Nigerian Satellite Communications Agency, and I think they have, without prejudice, is the Universal Service Provision Fund. We have tried to itemize in graphic form in this particular, document all that the ministry has been able to achieve within the last 3.5 years. I feel very really happy
that God has favored me with being appointed Minister of Communications rather than any other ministry. I think the Minister of Communications is the best place to be for anybody who wants to learn about modern civilization and about what makes countries, to develop. So I think you would need to examine from page 7 of the booklet. At that page, we have itemized the mandate of the Ministry of Communications. This mandate, I was spelled out. I do not want to waste your time. Then again on page 8, we have pillars of sectoral development. This includes sector-wide strategy, policy and reforms, ICT penetration, e-governance, and human capital development. I am particularly excited in the text we have at about page 7, we have the data on the current, information about how, ICT has penetrated particularly in the area of communication and penetration and, broadband subscriber base. The subscriber data as of 2015 when we came on board was 152,123,172. Again, 152 million was the telecommunications subscriber base. As I'm talking to you now, it has risen by more than 21 million to 173. This data is very, very important for us to know. This, along with this, is the fact that the quality of service of the telecom base of this country used to be very poor. There were too many complaints. But I'm happy that NCC, through their unique complaint numbers, have been able to receive a lot of complaints which they have taken up, with the telecom operators, and I can assure you that within a period of 1 year from the introduction of this unique number, to a year from that moment, the quality of service has improved drastically. And I can assure you that, efforts are still ongoing to make sure that we eliminate to the barest minimum the number of complaints from telecommunications subscribers. Apart from subscriber base of telecoms operators, the teledensity in Nigeria as of 2015 was 107.6%. Today, within 3.5 years, it has moved to 124.05%. Internet subscriber base in 2015 was 97,824,017 Nigerians who have access to internet across the country. Today, it has risen to 115,157,470. Again, broadband penetration across the country in 2015 was 8.5 million, 8.5%. Today, it has risen to 33.08%. And our new target is to ensure that by year 2023, we attain 70% broadband penetration. With regard to broadband subscribers, in 2015, the figure was 41.4 million. Today it is 63.13, 63 million, 136. All of the information. Like I said, I expect everybody to have this, with you. I particularly urge the press to do an in-depth analysis and study of all the figures that we have here, and to see and be convinced that the ministry and its agencies have done very well within the last 3.5 years. Let me conclude this short introduction by thanking especially the management team of the ministry. Incidentally, over the last 3.5 years, I've worked with 4 different permanent secretaries. Of course, this has not been a thing we bargained for or that we work towards. But I'm happy that between me and the management team, we've had very cordial relationship. All the heads of our agencies. Again, I have enjoyed, very, very good relationship with each and every one of them. They are all here. I'm happy also that the chairperson of the NIPOS board is here. In conclusion, I must thank Mr. President for finding me fit to be appointed as Minister of Concrete. I'm sorry, my chairman, House Chairman, is here with us. I am really excited to have you here. I pray that God will continue to sustain you in all goodness. Finally, I want to thank everyone. I believe that the relationship that we have built over the last 3.5 years with each and every one of you, both the man even beyond being in office. Once God has brought us together, I believe we will remain friends and brothers, and our sister too, we will remain friends. And then it is our prayer that the Buhari administration will continue to live up to expectations of Nigerians. Thank you so much. May God bless each and every one of you.
Note that the house is complete today. Everyone who has a role to play in the family of ICT is here seated. And I think we should congratulate all of you. If you please put your hands together for all the CEOs and all the ministers. And if there's one thing to judge the ministry by, or to rate its performance, is to say that it's this administration that ICT overtook oil in this contribution to GDP. And that's important. I thought you would clap for. And I would like to properly introduce the gentleman I was not mentioned when he came in. He walked in while we started. The minister acknowledged him, but do permit me to mention that we do have in our midst the House Committee Chairman for ICT, Honorable Mohammed Alou Ogoshi. I've known him for many years, really, while I was working also in MID, and I know how he intervened in oversight functions and made very useful contributions to programs of that agency at the time. So I got familiar with his passion and ability to stabilize government programs. So thank you, sir, for coming today. The minister has spoken. I don't want to take too much time. I'm again trying to put some buttons on the protocol process so I don't go too far. Executive of Aristotle, and I'm pleased to say we will take the gentleman who's brought some change. positive to lead that, to kick off, and let us have some insights into what the agency is doing. I'm speaking of Dr. Issa Pantole. I have just 2 minutes for every speaker. Please, to ask you just take 2 minutes with your comments. Please put your hands together for Dr. Pantole.
Okay. The Chair House Committee on ICT, Honorable, Right Honorable Muhammad Oboshi, the Oni of Information Technology, the Anafin of Communications, and the Oba of Digital Economy of Nigeria, Mr. Abdurrahim Adebayo Shitu, the engine of ICT of Nigeria, our permanent secretary, MF Estefanus, my colleagues, the EDC of NCC, Professor Omar Rambata, my colleague of Galaxy Backbone, Architect Yusuf Kazaure, also my colleague from Galaxy, Abimbola Anale, and my sister as well. Sorry, from Nichcomsat, Abimbola Anale. Where is that of NIPOST? Oh, she was in the Galaxy, so it has been extended to another place. And our colleagues and the chair of NIPOST, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good afternoon, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Today is a very important day to all of us, but very painful indeed. We have been together with our boss, the Honorable Minister of Communications, I have been with him now more than 2.5 years. Some of my colleagues have been with him for over 3 years. We work together. The sector has achieved a lot within his own period. He has operated open door policy to all of us. We discuss with him. Sometimes we argue, we agree, and we disagree, but we always remain as brothers. And he treats all of us as brothers. A proverb says, a cow doesn't know the value of its tail until it is cut off. I do hope that the sector is going to build on the legacies of our Honorable Minister. In addition, he has been bold enough, very brave, to say goodbye to all of us. We pray that life will be so kind to him and present another opportunity of new halo to him. We do hope that the Honorable Minister will be rewarded with another new halo so that he will be part of the next level and the best level. Finally, under his supervision, as we all know from his speech, which has been summarized by him, a lot has been achieved in ICT sector. There is no time to elaborate further on this. However, some of the key achievements that the sector has achieved under his supervision, most importantly, the contribution of ICT to our GDP. What we have achieved in the second quarter and the third quarter of 2018, both of them are unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. That has never been achieved. The patronage of local content, using our OEMs, patronizing them, what we have achieved is also unprecedented. I can recall in 2015, the patronage is around maximum 92,000, but as I'm talking today, it's over 355,000 annually. This is also unprecedented. So there are many things that the agencies under the supervision have achieved within that period, and I believe that the credit is not for only the agencies, but the credit should also go to the supervisor who supervises all the activities of the agency. All right, Honorable Minister, we pray that with this goodbye, Almighty Allah will bless you with another opportunity, with a new halo. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I take the blessings of Dr. Pantami seriously, because he's also a cleric. So that's interesting. I think the words are resounding, and thank you, sir, for your kind words. I will take a moment, if you will, to introduce some persons who joined us. They're distinguished. We have the chairman of the Nine-Post Governing Board, Barrister Abuja. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. But I should have said the Buddha, right? That would have got home today. Thank you. Then the Director General, I don't know where he's seated, I got this sent to me. Okay, the Director General of the ICRC, the Infrastructure Concessionary Regulatory Commission. Thank you. Thank you for the honor of your presence. This is valedictory. It's important for us to bring in as many Nigerians who are making a lot of change, bring a lot of change to governance. Thank you, sir, for honoring the invitation. So this gentleman I call the numero uno of communications. It's, and by the way, when ICT is ran to the world, and we hear that Nigeria is making progress, it's largely because of telecommunications. So I'll ask you, sir, even though I have to ask to speak off call, to please step forward and take my next 2 minutes and speak from the heart to what the Honourable Minister has said. Professor Danbata, please put your hands
together. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to observe the protocol that has already been established by my Honourable Minister, as well as by the immediate first speaker, my good friend and colleague in arms, and in ICT. The Honourable Minister consciously read out the statistics for the telecommunications sector, but left out two. So it is my pleasure to, first of all, in addition to all the titles that the DG of NIDA has listed out to your honor, to also draw the attention of this crowd that my minister is the king of even the land, the warrior, in whose hand the territory is. And I believe his discharging that honors the responsibility very, very well. Congratulations, sir. I was in Ibadan when that title was given. I did. There is the information, very important information, that is pertinent to the telecommunication sector's contribution to GDP. Ladies and gentlemen, the contribution stands at 2 trillion naira, and this is per quarter, every 3 months. This contribution is 9.5% to the GDP. The also other important statistic that was not mentioned was the data usage, which was a little under 20 terabytes way back in 2015. It has more than tripled now. It is standing at 85 terabytes. No tera, it's 10 to the power of 12. It's not 10 to the power of 9. Now, an indication of how we have expanded access to broadband services. And as it is, we are now trying to deploy the massive capacity for data services from the landing point in Lagos to the hinterland. And to do this, we have licensed 7 infrastructure companies for 7 zones of the country. Lagos, the 3 southern states and the southern zones, south-south, southwest, and southeast, as well as the geographical zones in the northern part of the country. And already we have negotiated with the infrastructure companies the subsidies, because this is a project that is going to be driven using the PPP arrangement, public-private partnership. So we are poised to take broadband to the next level. The next level is 120,000 kilometers of fiber as captured by this government in that broadband document. We are the ones saddled with this very, very important responsibility. I would like to assure the minister, when we hit the target, just as we have hit the target for broadband penetration in 2018, we will invite all of the ministers to come and celebrate the next peak of attaining the infrastructure target of 120,000 kilometers in 2023, by the grace of God. I have only 2 minutes. I don't know how much I've spoken. I would like to very, very warmly congratulate the minister for the very able manner you have stepped the ship of state as our supervising ministry, together, with members of your staff in the ministry. What I can recall and still remember is the very, very cordial manner you have conducted yourselves. And I have made a lot of friends in the ministry. There's no place I look forward to going in Abuja, than I look forward to going to my Minister of Communications. It lends credence to my claim that ministry is saddled really, is littered with very, very friendly faces from the bottom up to the top echelon, of that, important Ministry of Government. And we'll miss you, like we all miss very dear friends, but the legacy you are leaving behind, I assure you, by the grace of Allah, will stand the test of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, EVC. I'd like to say that something that is not very well known in the telecoms industry is the faith that the international community has in Nigeria. I'm just completing a study for an international organization. We're looking at the submarine cables, which is put at 9 terabytes. But our study shows that they've had an upgrade, several of them, and it's now 40 terabytes. That's the power that the telecoms industry has in Nigeria, and it's due to the faith that we have in the country. So let's put our hands together for the NCC. Thank you, sir. 40 terabytes is not chicken feed or something. So let's go to you, sir, the Postmaster General, and he's an innovative, modern Postmaster General. He wears a beard now, which is fashionable among young people, to show the trend that even he can resonate with the young people. Please welcome for 3 minutes Barrister B.C. Adebuyi for his own short remarks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. The Honorable Minister of Communications, my dear brother and boss, Dr. Abdul Rahman Adebayo Shitu. Please allow me to subscribe to already established protocol. Let me put it on record that I've enjoyed working with and under you. Your unflinching commitment to the modernization, restructuring of that massive national infrastructure is noted and well appreciated. Under you, we have imbibed the 3 I's as prescribed by the Universal Postal Union: integration, innovation, and inclusion. We have leveraged on existing and evolving technologies to drive this national infrastructure. The new NIPOS is beyond mail, because in other jurisdictions, the posts have responsibilities internationally now to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So the local corresponding one is to use the post to assist the government in achieving its economic recovery and growth plan. So let me tell you how we have succeeded in assisting the government. In its three major pillars of programs: economy, unemployment, and fighting insecurity. As you know, without security, nothing can be achieved. Our digital addressing system and address verification system ensures that people are tied, their identity are tied to a particular location. And that will contribute in no small measure in bringing down insecurity. As a matter of fact, the National Security Advisor has keyed into this. Secondly, economy. As you know, the engine room of any nation's economy are the MSMEs. When you give them access to credit, they employ more people. In collaboration with NASA, Bankers Committee, and Central Bank, NIPOST, we have formed a national microfinance bank that will give loans to farmers at single-digit interest rates. And amongst other things, assist them in knowing new methods of planting and all of that. When you do that to farmers, you would improve on agriculture, food security will be enhanced, and then that will also reduce unemployment. And the way we're going about it is that we want NIPOS to be relevant to all the people, particularly in the rural areas. We have the super agency license, where we're bringing banking services to people who are underbanked, unbanked, and all of that. I can go on and on. All of these have been made possible because of your cooperation, because of your quintessential leadership quality. We're going to miss you, but we pray that another opportunity will be presented for you to continue to offer services to Nigeria and humanity. Thank you very much. Let me say this to you. NIPOST today, the new NIPOST, is beyond mere mail delivery. We want to ensure that the post offices all over Nigeria are converted to public access venues when people will wake up any day without going. They must go to the post office. That's our vision, that's our ambition, and all of these have been made possible by your good self. I congratulate you, and I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. Thanks for listening to me.
Thank you, PMG, for your own comments, and I can attest to some of the things he said. I had the privilege of sitting in the committee that's overseeing the addressing system, and the work done is reputed to be the best in Africa. So when the rollout is before us, we would proudly become Nigerians. It's wonderful. It will revolutionize the concept of mapping. But before I go on, I see a gentleman right at that corner who's a member of industry by training. I'm speaking of the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Adekunle Mokolu. Sorry, I didn't get to see before. He loves the ministry and eats parastatals. He attends all the events because he's an engineer by training, and he understands that you can't have real ICT rollouts without engineers. So thank you, sir, for coming for the press briefing. So I would take the lady of the satellite who's just come from Galaxy now, so I don't give the impression that ladies come last. Please welcome Abimbola Alale for just 2 minutes of my time.
Good afternoon, Honorable our chairman, the Honorable Minister that we're celebrating today, the PAMSEC, and my colleagues. I just want to join my brothers who have spoken and colleagues to appreciate you. Under your leadership, NIGCOMSAT has made very good progress. We have improved infrastructure. Before you came, we were struggling seriously with infrastructure deficits. But with you, you've been able to assist us to get some form of funding to be able to position the company to be able to attract the right sort of investment for a good PPP venture that we are going into. You've encouraged us to get ready to be self-sustaining, and I just want to join you, elders, especially my brother Pantami, in wishing you well, and he's prayed for you that after this appointment, that greater opportunities will open up to you. So I thank you, and I join others in appreciating you. Thanks.
Thank you. That was snappy, well within 2 minutes. Thank you very much. And yes, Yusuf, next. Yes, I consider him synonymous with Galaxy. Many years ago, under the first Director General of NIDA, we were in Jigawa and we were live on AIT and we were taking through the investments made by that government on that powerful infrastructure. And today, there's birth to it, but at the national level. The Managing Director of Galaxy Backbone will take the next 2 minutes. Yusuf Kazauri.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, my Chairman, Permanent Secretary, all protocols duly observed. Honorable Minister, it's been an eventful 3.5 years. But I think what I'll remember the Honorable Minister most for is his very unassuming character, the fact that his door was always open. And I think that facilitated quite a lot. When he came on board, as far as the perspective from Galaxy is, we were in the middle of several projects that were not moving in the direction they should be, mired in different issues. But by the time the minister got to understand what the issues were, he was able to provide the sort of leadership which even at the Federal Executive Council was able to clear all the obstacles. And I'm proud to say today as we speak, our infrastructure as a result of that is almost second to none in this country. He has laid the platform, the technology platform necessary for e-governance. In the course of doing that, this speaks directly to the ministry. One of the key achievements is the approval of the Federal Executive Council for the e-government master plan, which also lays the foundation for e-governance within the country. So I think these, coupled with many, many achievements that I cannot reel out right now, I think will continue to leave his name in the minds of all those who had the opportunity of working with him within both Galaxy and the ministry, as well within the context of whatever developments we're able to build on in the near future. So I join my other colleagues in praying that this effort you have put in will yield further results, as I have no doubts, because despite the fact that you found yourself in an industry that you were not trained for, within a very, very short time you were able to equip yourself and deliver on your mandate very, very successfully. So with that kind of a background, I have no doubts that wherever you may find yourself in the near future, you will also make a success of. But that not said, for us, I think it is a day which, has a combination of sadness and happiness. Happiness for the fact that, yes, he has completed a term successfully and has left legacies we will always remember and count on, he can always look forward for. But sadness to the fact that I may not necessarily, when I have a problem, rush into the minister's office and receive all the attention that I'll have. But that notwithstanding, I'm sure he's only one phone call away, and I'll make sure I utilize that effort of the open door policy. So Ranke Dede, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Yusuf. He speaks extempore anytime anyway, so I wasn't afraid of what he's going to say. By the way, I called him up without proper notice to speak about what they do and have their kind words to the Honorable Minister. On that note, sir, if I have your permission, I'll let a private sector person also speak. Just one before we leave, if you don't mind. Thank you. I would ask the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers for the private sector perspective, but please don't go. We'll take questions. We'll also hear some interventions from the legislature. Thankfully, they are here, but after the NSC President. 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much, Kamabonte. The Honorable Minister of Communication, my brother, my friend, and I dare say my mentor. I almost call you engineer, Barrister Adebayo Shitu. All the heads of the various parastatals and the directors in the Ministry of Communication that are here. Mine is just to testify to the fact that Barrister Shitu is really an emblem of inspiration to all of us as Nigerians. The first is that he uses intellectual properties and knowledge to drive whatever he's doing. And that is very, very important because that shows that he, as a person, believes in professionalism and not sensationalism. The other thing is that what he has left or what he's leaving behind, if we all could key into it, that what is very important in the life of any nation, it's not the resources that are under the feet, that is what we call natural resources, but the intellectual resources, what is between our ears, so that this country, wonderful country, Nigeria, we will know that the greatest resource that we have and the best resource that we have are the people themselves, the citizens of this country. So if that being the case, then we will do everything that is possible to be able to support and protect the lives of our citizens. And that is the template and the legacy that Barrister Shitu, the Honorable Minister, is leaving behind for all of us. I don't have any doubt that he's going to go higher. Probably, well, the next level is the thing and the next best level. But the thing is that without the support and without each and every one of us who are here in this room, and even all Nigerians, ensuring that we do the same thing, we adopt this template of knowing that our country must be knowledge-driven, not resource-driven, then we'll still continue to cope with our challenges. But I'm very sure that with the passion and the kind of testimonies that we have heard from the various heads of the agencies, particularly the parastatals that are under his supervision, there is really a very, very great hope for our dear country. I must tell you that this is one of a kind. Why is that so? From my own experience, the heads of various parastatals are always at loggerhead with the minister. And all the parastatals under the communication ministry are here today. Well, they say the reward for good work is more work, so you should be prepared. And people like us will give you more challenges. As a matter of fact, you made me very, very uncomfortable. But because you have been engaging us, I feel very confident that we'll do more with you. Because the thought I always have is that an engineer should be the Ministry of Communication. But then you have used us, and we are partners in progress, and we are very happy with the way that you have used us. We wish you well on behalf of all the Nigerian engineers, including Engineer Professor Dambata here, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and a fellow of the Academy of Engineering. I'm very, very sure we shall take it up to the next level together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Dekunle, and for also recognizing your colleagues who are serving in the ministry. I didn't ask for that advert, but it's well deserved. We have listened that you're not just a professor, but also an engineer, so and a fellow of the Society of Engineers. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that the legislature should have the last word in the goodwill messages. It should wrap up this. I didn't ask for his permission, but I can be high-handed sometimes when I have the microphone. So, sir, I have the microphone. I order you, sir, to please come for 2 minutes of a goodwill message to the Honourable Minister. Thank you, Honourable Ogoshi.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Minister, Chief Executives of the various parastatals, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I don't know what to say. The Honourable Minister, the ministry is going to miss you. The country is going to miss you. And the legislature particularly is going to miss you. They will not find somebody in the next 4 years to be arguing with every time you come for budget defense. All the things your officers have said were well said, and you've given them the opportunity to know you well. I made it a point of duty to be here because we have interacted personally with you. You walk into my office at your convenience. I walked into your office at my convenience, and we talked about things that were beyond the mandates given to you and I. But we had the opportunity of working very closely together, and most of the time, I must say, you were being misunderstood. But because we are age mates, we understand ourselves very well. We argue, we disagree very seriously, sometimes in public. But when we come to sit down and we draw the lines together, we tell ourselves the truth, and it's for the betterment of the country. And that's why you are leaving the ministry better than you met it. May the Almighty Lord continue to guide you where you're going. I'm sure, like different people have prayed for you, you will attain greater heights. And I'm sure we will meet there again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable, for indulging me, and those words were well spoken. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honourable. Now, we're coming close to the session, which is reserved more for the gentlemen of the press, and I believe would be patient to take those questions. And here is the procedure. There will be a microphone, Honourable Minister, if you will.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, okay, by popular demand, would you please have your 2 minutes also? Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to stand on the existing protocol. My minister, Dr. Adebayo Shitu, we came in last year, and I would say something that the person I met as a minister of communication is just not an ordinary person. Is a person that I see like a father figure, a guardian that has been guiding me through. And what I like about him is the fact that he wants NIPOS to be a very great organization. I met BPE trying to commercialize NIPOS. I joined the team as a steering committee member. So since then, we've been working very closely with the minister, and believing me sincerely, he worked as if the work, it's personal. Like NIPOS belongs to him. He wants to see it. He wants a new NIPOS to be born. So we work closely, and throughout our work, I mean, it was all like success. He wants to push forward NIPOS by all means. He has put in his best. He has put in his feet down, and all the moment I spent with him is a learning period for me, because I see a person with a very, very bright future. I don't think this is the end of his success. I mean, people like that should be taken forward, and I pray to Almighty Allah to make his present better than his past, and his future much, much better than his present. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Incidentally, she spoke about the minister's passion for NIPOS. Now, I've heard the minister speak about the other agencies in the same way. Barrister, the minister has the same passion that he has for NIPOS, for NCC, for NIDA, for NASHCOMSAT, for everyone, and for Galaxy. And even beyond, and that's why the NSC president is here. That's what made him come, because of that passion. And I also contradict you, ma'am, on one score. You said he's not an ordinary person. He's actually very ordinary. So ordinary that he can walk into his bedroom. He doesn't shut it. I know that much. That's whom we have. And I'm here at the pleasure of the ministry, really, and I enjoy that, and so has everyone else. So, sir, your greatness comes from being ordinary, being unassuming, being accessible to anyone. I've heard him speak to whoever wants his attention. Very young girls, older men, ask for his number, and he gives it. And he says, call me, I will take your matter. And he does, he follows up. That's who he is. He's not... And when it comes to an event, he sits well into it. He doesn't leave after opening the event. That's how ordinary and that's how committed. I speak from the heart. I have seen him in occasions where I wasn't even invited and I had to stumble into it. And I found him seated and listening. So that's welcome. That's really powerful. Well, thank you, sir, for it. We will miss you. And I will stop here before I give my own 2-minute speech. We'll take comments from the press or questions. And I know that the CEOs are here also to support the minister, to make clarifications. And the procedure will be, the gentleman of the press, if you want to ask questions, you raise your hand, we'll bring the microphone, but you need to come over here so the minister can see and hear you clearly and then ask questions. So let's give time for that process. There's a gentleman in the red hat right at the back. And a microphone is coming. You can meet the lady halfway and then step forward. I will take a batch of 3 the first time. So there's one.
Before the question and answer section, let me remind you of a major achievement by the Ministry of Communication. The ministry was said to have focused on the information technology infrastructural development, thereby extending ICT access to Nigerians and providing an enabling environment for competitiveness in the industry. The minister, in his farewell speech, said the ICT during his tenure, that Nigeria ICT has become one of the fastest growing, as it contributes about 10% to GDP in 2019, with foreign direct investment and local investment in over $70 billion.
Assuredly an accomplished man of many parts. Confidant of PMB, a gifted and adorable legal mind, politician through our East, Afro-Agboye of Ibadan land, often bespectacled Ashorema Sheka, acclaimed senior advocate of good governance, Dansan, prolific author with positive right values to make all that he stands for functional, meaningful and result-oriented. Many critics and doubting Thomases did not believe that he could deliver the goods or perform because his choosing profession and area of competence has always been the law. But today, the man popularly and affectionately called Bass has defied and braved all the odds with unquestionable sense of purpose, commitment, dedication to duties, and tenacity to turn the otherwise rustic and sleeping Ministry of Communication to an Eldorado and clear the road to the administration of PMB, his numerous awardees, many leaders and followers in Nigeria, Africa, and diaspora. Every Nigerian should therefore stand up and give due respect to this truly great man, because in the views of the doubting Thomases, was not trained in telecommunication engineering. Every good work a person does in life is written in 3 places, in heaven, on earth, and the mass of the people. The minister has fulfilled all this.
Okay, Honorable Minister, I didn't know you had a nickname, Bass. And I let that promo run, but that's okay. I just wanted questions really from the press, and I had identified, one moment, sir. You would ask, please don't go away. I had named him before you, okay? Just be patient. Please step forward.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations. Please, I would like to find out, under your tenure in the past 4 years, Etisalat, now Nine Mobile, the crisis is still unresolved. Okay, sorry. My name is Obi Nachima. I work with this day. Etisalat, Nine Mobile, the crisis is still unresolved. And when you leave, it's one of those things that will make reference to what is the update and how do you think that issue will be resolved. The ICT Industrial Park, is it something you think would outlive you after May 29? And finally, what are those challenges that you have faced with in the past 4 years at the ministry? Thank you.
Did you say you're from this day? Thank you. I'll let you answer, sir, but I had asked for 3 in a batch.
Other questions may become irrelevant. So if you don't mind, with regard to a tea salad, I'm happy I have the EVC who is directly charged with responsibility for managing that problem. He's here, so he would be given the public address system to answer that question, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to face the audience. It's what I do, talk while facing the audience. I don't want to go back into memory lane and, refresh our memories as to what happened when the Nigerian Communications Commission jointly with the Central Bank of Nigeria succeeded in really preventing Etisalat trading as Nine Mobile from going under. That success story is very well known. The stage we are now is that the license, operational license, as well as resources, I'm talking about the spectrum resources, are still with Etisalat, because there is a court order stopping further, the process of, if you like, concluding the process. So Nine Mobile is still trading. They have close to 16 million subscribers as we're talking. And you know what? They have one of the best services in the country. When you look at the key performance indicators characterizing quality of service, Nine Mobile stands out. They have met all the 4 KPIs. I don't want to bother you with the technical details because we measure this every month. We know what they are, and we know those operators that are not meeting 1 or 2. But Etisalat trading as Nine Mobile meets all the key performance indicators. It's unbelievable for a company that is coming out of a crisis, for a company that is in a transition. We find this really very, very interesting. But I'm sure the secret behind, I'm not really marketing Etisalat trading as Nine Mobile. Now, the takeover is virtually concluded. We have approved the transfer of shares in 2 stages from Etisalat to United Capital Trustees. Okay, the trustees appointed by the consortium of banks to manage Etisalat when it reneged in meeting the loan obligations it took from those certain banks. So that two-stage transfer of shares from Etisalat to United Capital Trustees and from United Capital Trustees to Teleology Nigeria Limited has been completed. And of course, you are aware that Teleology Nigeria Limited paid a non-refundable fee of $50 million as part of, the bid process they submitted. I mean, part of the bid they made. Okay, and they have also paid another $301 million. In addition to the $50 million non-refundable. They have made reliably payments to debtor entities like Huawei. They have paid IHS. These are vendors providing infrastructure services, to Etisalat. And I think the secret behind perhaps the success of the takeover is because Etisalat trading, I'm saying this always, trading is Nile Mobile is an ongoing concern, as we're talking. And I believe the hurdles, one or two hurdles in their way will soon be, overcome. And we will one day, not very shortly, write the history of this joint management of a crisis that would have engulfed the entire telecommunications sector, if not managed, heavily under, the leadership of our honorable minister. One day we will look back, perhaps, and appreciate what we have done to ensure the stability of the telecommunications sector in this country. And that effort we made is behind the success story that we're talking about today. Thank you very much. And I forgot to mention, with the permission of the minister, and this is also to our credit, who triggered the listing by MTN on the stock exchange? Who triggered it? The NCC. You recall the fine we did, on MTN for failure to deactivate 5,200,000 pre-registered SIM cards. Part of the agreement we reached, the NCC reached with MTN, is to list on the stock exchange. Now we're talking about that today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Moni, on the ICT.
My name is Moni Udo. I'm the Director of ICC in the Ministry of Communications. Honorable Minister, sir, Permanent Secretary, Your Excellency, the Chairman, and EVC, all protocol duly observed. PMG, Chairman Board, my brother, Engineer Adiwale, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Concerning the sustainability of the National ICT Park project, I believe strongly that it will live after not just him, but even me and everybody that is here. We're hoping that the private sector will indeed partner with us. It's a laudable project which will have a lot of positives. One, create that enabling environment for our young people to be guided. For those of them who have bright ideas and to use ICT to solve, local issues that may, escalate, just like, the Facebooks of this world and the rest of them. It will create that platform for them to really thrive. Two, it will create employment because, the whole ecosystem that we develop around, the ICT park will create loads and loads of jobs. We're planning to have this synergy with the university that is very close to the site that has been selected, for the ICT Park project. So there'll be avenue to take research findings to the labs, test them, and then they can, businesses can be formed around such results. Finally, ICT, we know, is one sector that can make the child of a farmer to become a billionaire. And we have young people in Nigeria, many from poor homes, but who have brilliant ideas. And they need this, platform for them to be able to express, their ideas and be helped. Finally, it's going to, attract that foreign investments into Nigeria and thereby increasing the contribution of ICT to our national GDP. We want to take the stress off the government. Government cannot fund every project. There are priorities. We have more serious issues in this country, And we believe also that this ICT park, if we all, come together to see it succeed, it will bring about safe cities, because research into solutions that will make our cities, our communities, our homes, our offices, and our roads safer for all of us will be happening in that park. And we believe that when we come up with safe city solutions from this park, everybody will benefit. Everybody can go home and sleep with two eyes closed. So the project, to my mind, will outlive everybody that is here if we all come together to make it work. Thank you.
I usually don't give money with the microphone when the subject is ICT Park. She dreams it. I've held on the editor from Vanguard, right? You write for Vanguard? Yes, please. Let him ask his question. No, you're the most senior Vanguard reporter here, so I say editor. So to acknowledge your presence, ask your question.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister. EVC, the DGs, and everyone, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Elebeke. I write for Vanguard newspaper. Honorable Minister, sir, we understand that whatever that has a beginning has an end, but I have just two questions for you. One is, all the period you have been meeting with us, you have always told us that one of the projects that is so dear to you is the issue of launching the 2 backup satellites. We want to know at what stage are you leaving the project? Then secondly, one of the issues militating against broadband deployment in Nigeria is the issue of right-of-way and vandalism. I'm aware that there is a bill at the National Assembly called the Bill on Critical Infrastructure. At what stage are you also leaving this bill to ensure that this project of achieving 70% broadband penetration is achieved by 2023? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. The first issue is about backup satellites. When we came on board, we discovered that Nicomsat had only 1 satellite in orbit. To me, having 1 satellite in orbit for a company as big as Nigeria, it's like you have a transport company which perhaps flies Abuja, Lagos without spare tire. Of course, no conscious person would want to patronize such a transport company, because if there's a tire burst on the way, perhaps in the bush, such passengers will get stuck in the bush. So I had an opportunity with our management to visit China, where the 1 satellite was constructed. And we started negotiation because I felt uncomfortable. If we have a country as big as Nigeria, not to talk of the entire Africa, we cannot be happy at the situation where that company, Nicomsat, is not making enough profit. in a situation again where most of the entities in Nigeria, even government agencies, who are supposed to patronize NICOMSAT, will prefer to go to Europe to, take services of satellite communication. So we said we must look for 2 additional satellites. We negotiated with the manufacturers who agreed to finance the 2 new satellites at the cost of $550 million on the precondition that Nigeria pays 15% of it. Of course, NICOMSAT or satellite communication is about big business. If we have our acts completely together, resources coming from NICOMSAT alone would be able to finance payment of all government salaries in Nigeria. The business, the market is as massive as that. But as of today, because we do not have enough backup of our own, we are not having enough patronage. So in the negotiation, they asked us to bring 15%. If you look at 15% of $550 million, the government said it could not get that money, and that we should look internally at other options of getting money. So eventually, the company in China agreed to, in fact, finance it 100%, except that it will be regarded as a loan which will be subject to our sovereign, fund. Again, government felt taking another loan of $550 million only for a business entity which should be run, independently of government, particularly having regard to how much money has been invested. Government said it would not be ready to take any loan, and that we should look for equity participation of foreign companies which have the resources to bring in these 2 new satellites. So the stage we are now is to engage with the private sector, particularly foreign direct investors who will be coming in with all the resources. I am happy that NICOMSAT is already discussing with a number of such foreign companies. And I can assure you, Madam NICOMSAT, what is your promise to Nigerians as represented here when we will be able to conclude negotiations on this investment? You please come and tell us.
I think in about 6 months we should be concluding. Thank you.
So with this promise, I believe in another 6 months or at least 9 months, questions will start being raised, as to how far we are able to move on this. But I can assure you that once we get the 2 extra satellites, it is possible to take on the African market with regard to satellite business. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, the issue of, establishing a law to ensure protection of all our critical infrastructure has been on the front burner, particularly with government and with the National Assembly. We have done some work on it, but the thing is, it is a multi-stakeholder issue that also involves the Office of National Security Advisor. Actually, I had taken a memo to the National Assembly about a year or 2 ago, but the National Security Advisor came in to say, look, this is their own mandate that, we should leave it to them. We are still, looking forward to more serious job on that issue. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have the legislature here.
I just want to make a plea, Honorable Minister, that since this is a valedictory session, and it means you are just preparing to hand over to the next senior person in the ministry, maybe if you are made the minister again, you come back. There's something that, if you remember, we've talked, and I want to talk it here because it pains me very seriously, that this is the only country that we have a satellite, and most of the people that are patronizing it are doing business in Nigeria, and they are not patronizing our satellite. That is bad. And so, in the next 6 months, when Madam Nijicomsat said our second satellite will be in the orbit, their claims of not patronizing us would have been gone, because they said they are not going to patronize us because we don't have a spare tire, like you said. When this spare tire comes on board, the likes of DSTV and so on should please do business with us as Nigerians are doing business with them. Thank you very much, sir.
I think I should add that in the negotiations with the Chinese, if we had concluded, with the negotiations, it was going to take them 2 years to construct. So I think I should bring an amendment to the pledge of Madam Nikomsat that these equipments, these satellites, are not done and put in a shop where you just go and pay and pick. After you have agreed with the financiers, you then order and construct it. At least the Chinese, with them, it takes 2 years to construct one. I imagine that they should still be able to do two within 2 years. So I think we have to, make that clarification so that maybe in 6 months is to conclude negotiations. After negotiations, then, when we sign agreement with them, then they will start, to construct. So it's not a thing that is always available. You pay, even if you have all the money today, it will take you 2 years. But I want to believe that once we're able to conclude with, the negotiations, and a lot of people will be wondering, why would it take 6 months to negotiate? This is international business and is a security business also. So it's not as simple as that. But once we're able to do that, once the agreements are reached, it will then be possible for Nicomstar to start doing their marketing strategies and all of that, so that, it is also possible for entities who will be patronizing them to start making bookings, for patronage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I have requests from some pressmen to let them off to write their stories. They've heard quite a lot this afternoon, and I think that should be a popular wish. We'll bring this to a close. It's been wonderful. Oh, yeah. No, she asked someone else to ask a question, so the gentleman has asked his question from this day, so from Vanguard, right? So I would rather let the director who's put this together to come and thank you. I would have no word of my own at this point. So welcome, Dr. Noyi Wachuku, for closing remarks and gratitude.
Standing on the already established protocols and on behalf of the ministry and its agencies and partners, I wish to thank you all for taking out time to attend this very important occasion. And I pray that the Almighty God will bless you all and take you back to your different destinations safely. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, let's stand now for the closing national anthem. At the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Arise, O compatriots.
Nigeria's follow thee to serve our Father.
afternoon. Will the gentleman of the press wait behind for the Director of Press?
That was the valedictory media briefing in honor of Dr. Adebayo Shitu of the Ministry of Communications. It is on this note we say thank you for being with us. NTA programs continue from our studios. On behalf of all members of the outside crew, it's been Emmanuel Ayemiro. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. We're still on air. Coming to Usman, coming to Ubani, Oloche, Usman, you are on. We're still on air. We're still on air. Let them come up now. Okay, thank you.